Dear aspirants, let us analyze this question which was asked in 2023. Uh, and in this video, we will focus on the keyword sum and how you can deal with the questions with this keyword, or how you can take advantage of a question which has this keyword, how it can be advantageous for you. So if we look into this question, it says it has four statements, and it has options like only 1, 2, 3, or all four are present. So here, just imagine yourself in the examination hall and you have encountered this question. Some mushrooms have medicinal properties. Some mushrooms have psychoactive properties. Some mushrooms have insecticidal properties. Some mushrooms have bioluminescent properties. So here, how much we would have analyzed about the mushroom before going to examination hall. So we will have very minimal knowledge, or sometimes who have read botany or agriculture, they might have more knowledge. But just assume that we don't have much knowledge about this mushroom and we have seen this question. Now, uh, here is one tip I give, or one observation I have. When we are encountering some statements in examination, in question paper, there are two ways to analyze a statement, or two ways to look into that question statement. One is, either you can prove the statement is right, the statement is correct, or you have to prove that it is not wrong. It is not wrong. So if you see this kind of question, some mushrooms have medicinal properties. So to prove that this statement is correct, you need to have the knowledge or some illustrations, right? So for all four properties which have been mentioned here, you might not recall the examples or the illustrations which have exactly these properties. But tell me, how can you prove these statements wrong? When you can't prove these statements wrong, you can have the assumption that the statements might be. I would say that statements might be right. There is more probability. So prelims is also a game of probability. So you have to play with the probability. So there is more probable that there might be some instances where mushrooms have medicinal properties. Yes, mushrooms might be having psychoactive properties. Mushrooms might be having, some mushrooms at least one instance would prove this statement right. It is very difficult to prove these kind of statements wrong. You cannot prove. It is not easy to prove these statements as wrong unless you have a convincing exception or convincing example that there is no mushroom that have insecticidal properties. We cannot say that there is no mushroom have bioluminescent properties. So these kind of statements, the crux of the idea is that this kind of statements, it is very difficult to prove wrong. So whenever you are encountering this word some, it is not an extreme word, and you have to feel yourself lucky that this kind of statements usually will be a right statement. So here in this case also, there are illustrations or the examples you can find when you are doing thorough analysis of the mushroom, that these statements are right. So the answer is D. I will show you the similar questions in 2023 itself. This question was asked. Some microorganisms can grow in environments with temperature above the boiling point of water. Some microorganisms can grow in environments with temperature below the freezing point of water. Some microorganisms can grow in highly acidic environment with a pH below 3. So these kind of statements, all three statements, when I encountered this question in the examination hall, so what I thought is, there might be some exceptions, there might be some illustrations which have these properties. Otherwise, there is very least probability that these kind of questions are asked unless we have strong illustrations to prove these questions wrong. It is difficult to prove these statements wrong. So I had marked all three, and luckily when I went home and analyzed the question, then I was convinced that all three statements are right. Okay, so let me show you some more examples. In 2012, this question was asked: consider the following kinds of organisms: bacteria, fungi, flowering plants. Some species of which of the above kinds of organisms are employed as biopesticides? So, rather than looking into the question like whether they can be used as biopesticides, we can question, we can reframe the question as why not? Why can't we use bacteria as biopesticide? Is there an exception? I don't find any um, rational reason behind why bacteria cannot be used as biopesticide, why fungi cannot be used as biopesticide, or a flowering plant, why can't it be biopesticide? So it is very difficult to prove that these statements are wrong. So the answer is D. All the statements, all these species can be used as biopesticides. Here, even in 2019, this statement: some species of turtles are herbivores, some species of fish are herbivores, some species of marine mammals are herbivores, some species of snakes are viviparous. So, even in this case, all four statements, it is very difficult to prove they are wrong. Rather than trying to prove that whether the statements are right, if you think in this manner, it will be very easy for you to approach this question. And I'm not going into the depth of the questions, but I am focusing on the keyword sum, how you can take advantage of these kind of questions in prelims. So there is one more example here. In this question, neem oil can be used as pesticide to control the proliferation of some species of insects and mites. So with our analysis, with my understanding, this statement could be right. Second statement, neem seeds are used in manufacture of biofuels and okay, so let's restrict our analysis to the first statement. I just wanted to highlight about this keyword sum. And here in 2017, they had asked this question about the butterflies. If there is a huge fall in the population of species of butterflies, what could be the likely consequences? Likely consequences. That means you don't have to be certain about these consequences, but there is a likelihood of these consequences. Again, it is not an extreme statement, so you can analyze in this way. Pollination of some plants could be adversely affected. So it is very difficult to prove this statement wrong. So this statement might be right. There could be a drastic increase in fungal infections of some cultivated plants. So here also some cultivated plants are there, but what is making this statement wrong is the drastic increase. This is an extreme statement which has been mentioned in this question, which is making this statement wrong. It could lead to a fall in population of some species of wasps, spiders and birds. And then, so this statement is right. So just focus on this keyword some. How it is very difficult to prove the statements with this kind of statement as wrong. Then in this question also, there is a keyword some. Some of those infected with hepatitis B and C viruses do not show the symptoms for many years. This statement is also right. Here, in 2021, there was a question on furnace oil. Some industries use it to generate power. How can we prove this statement wrong? There might be some industry which use it to generate power. Unless you have the strong exceptional case, this statement is right. Again in 2023, some tribal people in India use niger seed for cooking. So this statement is also right. So just focus on this keyword some. Again, Going back to our initial question, the question is, first we have focused on the keyword sum. Then let me tell you that this topic mushroom is also an important area of interest in UPSC prelims, and of late in recent prelims UPSC has asked questions on this topic mushroom. So what I would suggest is you go back and do a thorough content development or thorough analysis or develop knowledge on the topic of mushrooms. Because see, in 2022 also UPSC had asked about the Gucci mushroom. That means it is one of the area of interest. In 2021 this question of was asked where mushroom is also included in the question. And there was also one more question which was asked about the agaricus. So collectively we cannot ignore the topic mushroom. So this is a learning that we have to be thorough with the topic mushroom before going to the 2024 prelims. So I am restricting this video to the analysis of the pattern in UPSC. So if you want me to make a detailed video on the topic mushroom, I can deal with this topic with the help of PYQs. So please let me know in the comment section if you want me to take this further. Thank you.